Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Left Side, Strong Side. We are here for our full NFL draft recap. I'm Jans Ellison. Next to me, Mike Deegan, my co-host. Jacob London once again could not join us today, but he is with us in spirit. And I'm a little happy he's not here because I do have something to say about the Bills, which we'll get to later. But you know what, Mike? I do have some good news for you today. No Whoppers on this show.
Yes.
Also because I did not have time to edit anything funny. So I did not put in a Whopper joke for this one.
The day is mine.
The day is yours. The day is yours. We are here. Like I said, we had our draft stream last Friday. Thank everyone tuned in, everyone who watched, everyone who was a part of the show. But this is our draft recap. Before we get into that, we do have some news regarding draft from years past, the 2020 fifth-year options. The decisions have been made. A couple ones you would expect, some a little bit surprising. Not getting picked up. Let me just pull up the list right here. 2020. Okay, so yeah. Here are the lists of the fifth-year options that have been picked up. So in the category of picked up, you had Joe Burrow, Andrew Thomas, Tua, Justin Herbert, Derek Brown of the Panthers, Jedrick Wills of the Browns, Tristan Wirfs of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jerry Jeudy of the Broncos, AJ Terrell of the Falcons, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and Brandon Ayuk. Those are the ones that were picked up. Who the one that got denied? Everyone else. Denied. You got Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, who was not eligible for their fifth-year option, would have got denied anyway. Isaiah Simmons, C.J. Henderson, Mekhi Becton, Javon Kinlaw, Austin Jackson, Kayvon Chason, Jalen Reagor, Kenneth Murray, Cesar Ruiz, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Love, who we'll get to in a second, Jordan Brooks, Patrick Queen, Noah Igbinoghene, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So going in the category of ones that got picked up, I feel like it's all the players we would expect to get picked up.
No huge surprise.
No huge surprise. Also, like people who get picked up. The one who got denied, who shocked me a little bit, was Chase Young for the Commanders.
I think it's the injury. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like if Chase Young could stay healthy on a consistent basis, I do think he would have got his picked up because like he's a legitimate difference maker when he's on the field. That's the absolute when he's on the field.
If he doesn't get franchised or some sort of contract extension or something coming through, he's going to be a big name next offseason.
Absolutely. Like if he like shows out next year, like the market for him is going to be plentiful. The other one I feel like I'm a little saddened by because I did like this guy got in college. I don't think it's quite his fault. Isaiah Simmons for the Arizona Cardinals. I just feel like the Cardinals just don't know how to use him.
Yeah, and the Cardinals are just such a mess right now. Yeah. In general, I get why they're kind of like just blow up the system, but and we're going to get into the draft, and obviously that seems to be their mentality right now. Simmons is another one who he'll have a pretty nice market if he does hit it next year, which it looks like he probably will. I really don't see a scenario where the Cardinals would attempt to re-sign him. So he's another one to look at next year that's going to be highly touted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, other than that, Mekhi Becton, like for you, like because I know a first round pick in 2020. We traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick, which again I do not regret. I would definitely do it again. What do you think about Mekhi Becton not getting option picked up?
Draft night, I wanted Wirfs because Wills and Thomas were off the board. I really wanted Wirfs, and we took Becton. And I don't know, something about Becton the whole time just it was like a gut feeling with me that was like something just seems off with this. He's an absolute beast when he's on the field, but he's been on the field for what, like not even a full season over the three years he's been on the team. If like combined, it's not even a full year.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the stats for Mekhi Becton's playing time.
He missed the whole season last year.
He missed the whole season last year. It's not bode well. How many times has he actually suited up for the New York Jets?
It's not much. I mean, right now he's slimmed down a lot, which is a little bit of a little alarming as well because that was what he was known for. Was
wow. So yeah, he hasn't even played. Technically, hasn't even played a full season.
Right.
He's played 15 games across 3 years.
Yeah. So I get it. It's the type of guy who's going to potentially have an opportunity, based on speculation, but I don't think it's going to be the Jets.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see if he can turn in a full season this year, because Lord knows the Jets need him to this time around.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that's it for the 5th year. We also got about Jordan Love. That was the big question mark. Jordan Love coming up with the 5th year option. They didn't give him the 5th year option because, in case you don't know, 5th year option basically like you can send a 1st round rookie for another year. Condition is all the money is guaranteed.
Right.
Which for Jordan Love, I understand
sense.
why that's a little scary. So instead, what the Packers did was they decided to give him a 1-year extension. So they basically give him a 5th year option that's not fully guaranteed.
Yeah, it was smart to do like as an incentive based, a prove it contract.
Well, yeah,
and it's smart to keep him under contract too.
This year is like gonna be the year where like, they figure out like, okay, what do we have in Jordan Love?
Right.
And like if he sucks, then we can move on after next year. If he's great, then okay, cool. We keep building around Jordan Love.
And if he sucks, they are in a very nice scenario now that they could potentially have 2 firsts.
If he sucks, Brian Gutekunst needs to be held to the fire for that pick.
Yeah. It was such a bad pick to begin with when they had several wide receivers available to them.
Yeah, like several wide receivers and several needs on defense, but you decide to trade up. People forget they traded up to take Jordan Love in 2020.
Right. I think they traded up like 5 picks, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. So yeah, they traded a couple things to get Jordan Love, but yeah, he is. And again, but like we would understand like Rodgers was on a decline. But it was quite the opposite. He literally had back-to-back MVP seasons after Jordan Love got drafted.
It was that he was a foolish pick, and like at the time, if you were watching that draft, like he was one of those names that was kind of like. I think he was actually expected to go more like the tail end of the 2nd round. When he came into the 1st, it was like, what just happened?
It was easily the biggest shock of that draft. But yeah, so that's where we're at for 5th year options. So now let's go on to recapping the draft. I got the list of so we're gonna go over each team's draft picks and we're gonna give them a grade. All right, so let me just share that. All right, here we go. So we're going alphabetical. We're starting with the Arizona Cardinals. First pick, like we said, we all knew they were going to trade down from 3.
Oh boy, what a shock that was!
It was not the way we expected, which we'll get to later. But yeah, what I commend them for is finally listening to what the needs of Kyler Murray, because like they needed offensive line help and they needed it badly over the last several seasons. And they traded up to get Paris Johnson, who I did not think would be first tackle off the board. Crap. Okay. Kind of losing you, Mike. We'll see if he comes back. But yeah, so got Paris Johnson in the first, trade up to get him. BJ Ojulari, I think is a great pick. Aziz's brother. But you back now?
Yeah, I'm back. I was going to mention on the Johnson trade, that brilliant move. Trading down, getting additional capital to move back up a couple spots. They still gained and got the player they wanted. That was brilliant. Absolutely, really liked what they did there. They traded a bunch of times. Like they were involved in the first 2 rounds in 3 trades. So I think considering the needs of the team. 100%. This was actually really smart in acquiring, because the next year they have 13 picks or something like that. It's absurd.
Something like that. They got a lot of draft capital to play with next year.
Yeah.
Again, I like the Paris Johnson. I like BJ Ojulari, Garrett Williams. Like need defensive and offensive help. Well, they need help everywhere. Like they have like so many holes on the team now with J.J. Watt retiring, Zach Allen in free agency, Budda Baker requesting a trade, DeAndre Hopkins possibly on his way out.
Yeah.
They did lose a 3rd rounder because of tampering with Jonathan Gannon.
Yep.
because of course you did. But yeah. So draft grade on this one. We had a good draft, but too bad we're still gonna suck next year.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it is. Their eyes on the future. They know this is pretty much a lost cause. They got some pieces here, but I think that there is a much longer game than this upcoming season.
Yeah, so we'll see how that turns out for them. Moving on to our next team, the Atlanta Falcons. Only had, let's see, 6 picks in this draft. This was the first big what the fuck moment of round one. Look, Atlanta, a team who need to overhaul the defense badly. A team who the one thing they were great at last season was running the football.
Mm-hmm.
You're pick number 8. You have a prime position to draft one of the big stud defensive players in this draft. What do you do with it? You draft a running back.
So twofold on this. First things first, I think Bijan Robinson is probably the front runner for offensive rookie of the year. In my mind right now, he is the most talented skill position player of this bunch, including the quarterbacks. However, he's not going to be able to carry this whole team on their backs when they had so many other needs.
The thing is, look, I don't hate Bijan Robinson going top 10 if it's a team that could afford taking him top 10.
If it was the Eagles,
team that did not.
Yeah. If he had fell to 10 and went to
the Eagles, like I am praising the shit out of that pick.
Yep, would have been perfect.
But yeah. But like the Falcons needed to address defense. I mean, look, I can imagine they took like Nolan Smith or Christian Gonzalez at number 8.
Yeah,
like that would have been a great pickup for them. They didn't do anything to address defense until round 3, with Zach Harrison, which is fine. But like, yeah, I think you need to bolster that front 7. I got a good piece in the secondary, but yeah, I think that this could be looked at. It could be seen as a colossal mistake for the Falcons in the long run.
I like the Bergeron pickup. I think he actually could have snuck it. I thought there was a chance he could have snuck into the first round. So I'm all very, very optimistic on him having a pretty good career. He's looks like he's going to be solid. So I like that pick. Even though Bijan is the superior player, I like that pick for the team better.
Yeah, I would agree. Again, like they don't really have a really strong tackle. They got a good interior line, but like again, tackle position, like that was one of need. So yeah, there's that. So draft grade for the Atlanta Falcons. Who needs the defense? Us, badly.
They're going to be in some interesting games this season.
Yeah, I mean, like they look, and with that division, they could still win.
Yeah,
they could still win. So that's I'm watching with great intent next season. Okay, so moving on to our next team, we got the Baltimore Ravens. Again, their biggest win came before the draft even happened, bringing in Lamar for another contract, sending him highest paid player in NFL history. And they did capitalize with hitting on a receiver in the first round in Zay Flowers. Again, JSN was off the board, so they went with Zay Flowers. Again, I would arguably second best receiver in the class. I mean, arguably third best receiver in the class because like him and Jordan Addison. But yeah, again, this is a team that need wide receiver help badly. So yeah, good job addressing that. I really hate that they got Trenton Simpson in the third.
Yeah, he seemed like a steal at that point.
He was, and like this also goes to show like how much the Ravens have fallen out here with Patrick Queen. Again, didn't get his option picked up. He was seen as a steal in the first round, but yeah, like that's a pick that's just not panned out.
He never panned out.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, Ravens always been like pretty solid at drafting. I'm not really gonna fault them there. Yeah. So I also think good later round pick to try and build up the O-line because they did lose some pieces in free agency. Like Ben Powers left for the Broncos. I think they had some other pieces leave. So, and also picking up a corner to replace Marcus Peters, who I'm shocked is still a free agent. He is still out there. So yeah, I don't think we got much to say about the Ravens draft picks.
This is the typical Ravens draft. Looking back at it, like they took Flowers. I feel like Addison would have maybe been a stronger pick for them based on the current receiving core they have. They don't really have a big, but they do have Mark Andrews, obviously. But he fits the same mold as Beckham and Rashad Bateman. So it's but he's insanely talented. They have some lack of size on their receiving core, but he's a solid pick. I think Addison would have been a better fit for them though.
Yeah, we'll see how that pans out for him. Draft grade on this one. There, you happy now, Lamar?
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Moving on to the Buffalo Bills. 6 picks for Big Blue. Their team, they're in an interesting position because, like with the last 3 years, they are so close to greatness they can almost taste it. Only thing is, like, they're no closer to winning Super Bowl. Hell, they might have gone backwards this offseason. With losing some key pieces on the defense. First thing they did they did address give another tight end option. They got Dalton Kincaid. Didn't think they'd go a tight end in the first round.
That surprised me. It really did. I thought either defense or wide receiver would have been the way to go. You have Dawson Knox
or interior O line, because I did have to take Osiris Torrance, who they did get. Like, Osiris Torrance just fell to them.
I couldn't believe how far Torrance fell. That did seem like a little bit of a steal in round 2, so I will applaud them on that one. But going back to Kincaid, it's like, sure, the tight end position right now, obviously in terms of the skill positions in the NFL, is probably the weakest. There's very few that you would consider elite. And they had one who is probably would have to be considered a top 10 tight end. So they have a little bit of a luxury pick here, I thought.
They did. Aside from that, Dorian Williams trying to bolster that linebacker core, since they did lose Tremaine Edmonds in free agency. Brought in, again, some more pieces to bolster the O-line, another weapon for Josh Allen, another cornerback. So, really solid draft. Another solid draft by the Bills. I mean, not as solid. I mean, I do think they've had better years in the first couple rounds, but I think that Osiris Torrance is probably like their biggest story here, like a massive steal, maybe the best interior lineman of the draft.
Absolutely.
Do you wish Jacob was here to talk about this particular particular one? Because he is a Bills fan.
Yeah. He well, I'm sure on night 1 we saw his reaction, but it's just like you had it, just making your rich position get richer when you're not helping out where you needed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a thing where, like, I don't know what else they could have done at 25. Like, 25 pickings are pretty slim. Like, maybe they could have taken they could have taken Nolan Smith. They could have taken Nolan Smith, which would have been a good one too. Yeah, he was still there. Oh yeah, wow. Okay, but either way, draft grade for this one. Maybe now they could beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Now we won't. Moving on to the Carolina Panthers, a first pick that most of us predicted. I saw some people who were still like saying that, like someone else other than Bryce Young could have gone 1-1, but he didn't. Bryce Young, as we all predicted, was the first overall pick for Carolina Panthers. I was shocked that they had a second rounder. I thought they traded away to the Bears. But they still had one. They got a wide receiver because they did need it. They traded away their best weapon from Bryce Young and DJ Moore. They needed to bring in somebody. It couldn't just be Adam Thielen. Also got an edge in DJ Johnson, who was actually not awful, pretty solid. And also a piece to bolster the interior O-line and a safety. I think Jeremy Chin is no longer there. No, he is. Yeah, Jeremy Chin is still there. So look, I mean, the big story was 1-1. Bryce Young, I think he was the right choice. He was the correct choice. Most NFL-ready QB in the draft this year. And I think they traded up for him for a reason. I think it might be a few years before, like, they actually has a good core around him. But right now, things are looking up in Carolina. They at least got their new guy.
They're going to have a rough season this upcoming season, but I think they have an opportunity to do what Jacksonville did, 2-3 years down the line. They have their guy that they might be able to build around him. Next year's going to be rough.
They don't have a disaster of a head coach.
Right, exactly.
It's like, Frank Reich, like, say what you will about the guy, he's still one of the better coaches in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Like, arguably, like, top, 15, maybe. Like, definitely in the top half of coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree.
So draft grade for this one. You actually thought we were going to take Levis? Lol. All right. Moving on, the Chicago Bears. This was an interesting one. Again, they had to flex their look, this is a team that splurged a ton in free agency.
More so than anyone.
I think they had like roughly like 3 figures worth of cap space to do it. And look, the mission here is simple. Try and build around Justin Fields. He showed a lot of flashes. We referred to him on the show as the 58-minute man because he'll have like he'll have 58 minutes of a great game and 2 minutes but defy logic. But so here's what they ended up doing. We did have him taking a tackle. We both had taken the wrong one though. We had Peter Skoronski. They had Darnell Wright as the guy they ended up taking. I don't hate that. I mean, I know Skoronski has like I didn't realize he had issue with the length of his arms. Apparently, he does not have long arms.
Yeah, Wright's the bigger of the two, from what we've learned.
Yeah. So I mean, good. I mean, like offensive tackle was easily the biggest position of need here. We also got some pace on D line. Again, really enforcing that defense, trying to pull up, giving some more weapons to Justin Fields. Again, you got DJ Moore, you got Darnell Mooney, you got Chase Claypool, you got Tyler Scott now, another running back for the committee. You got Penei Sewell's brother, Noah Sewell. So Chicago Bears versus the Lions is now going to be a battle of 2 brothers because they both have the same Brown kids.
Yep.
And they both have the Sewells.
And the Bears did what they needed to do. I do think probably overall they're top 3 offseason winner. They've done more positive than almost any other team in the NFL. They definitely are on the upswing. I mean, you can't get any worse than they were, but they made a lot of really smart moves.
Than the 1 pick overall.
Yeah, they made a lot of smart moves though. The trade with Carolina is going to pay off in spades. I think Darnell Wright was a great choice. Taking any one of those offensive tackles was a great choice. But going with the big guy Wright, it makes sense. They didn't do anything particularly like flashy in this draft, but that's what they needed to do. And I like this draft class a lot.
Absolutely. So do I. I think it's going to set them up for hopefully set them up for years and years to come. Draft grade on this, biggest win since 1985.
Probably, yeah.
Moving on to our next team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Look, there's a team that needed offensive line help, but all the good ones were taken. Or taken before then, so they had to go with their next best need. Another piece to aid Trey Hendrickson on the edge and Myles Murphy. They also got a cornerback to escape them from the horrors of Eli Apple. Don't worry, he can't hurt you anymore. Also, got some more offensive weapons. Got Jordan Battle, who was actually a pretty solid pickup at 95. They did lose their 2 starting safeties in Jesse Bates and Von Bell in free agency, which does worry me a little bit, but they did do some pieces to counteract that. They drafted a punter, which is an interesting choice. What do we think of this one?
So the biggest thing that surprised me here was, especially with Torrance Torrance went 1 pick before them. Why didn't they trade up? Because there was 2 designated tiers of the offensive linemen in this draft. There was the 4 in the first round, and then there was I think there was 5 who got taken in the second round. Yeah. Why didn't Cincinnati make a move to get one of them? Yeah,
you could have both the interior line. I know you need tackle help more than anything.
Yeah.
And literally
tackle was not very deep in this class. So
it was deep as far as first round talents, but the only other guy you could have reached for at this point was gone.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand. Torrance could have helped them a lot.
He could have. He really could have.
They had they had the draft capital. They could have made a move, even if they moved up 2 spots just to leapfrog, to Buffalo to get them. But
the thing is, you didn't even need Buffalo to do it. You could have just stayed there and taken him anyway.
Yeah. So that has been a glaring weakness for them for the past 3 years, and they've done absolutely nothing to address it.
They didn't take a single O lineman in this draft. Now that I look at it, oh my god!
So yeah,
that's wow. Look, they went for flash here. They went for weapons. They went for speed. They went for skill positions. Which this could either work out really well or be a complete disaster.
Exactly.
We'll see how it turns out. So draft grade on this one. I don't care who you get. You're still the Bungles. So let's see. Next team, we're looking at the Cleveland Browns. Okay, because of a certain deal they made, they weren't picking until round 3.
Yeah, this was, at the point that they drafted, your Tillman, will likely make the team because they did need depth at wide receiver.
The thing is, even though they didn't start picking till round 3, they didn't do too bad. They did not do too bad.
So they, again, nothing aside from Tillman's obviously the splashy name.
Tillman, I like the DeJuan Jones pick. I really do like the pick of DeJuan Jones at 111.
And again, I don't know if he's necessarily a day one starter, but he's got potential.
But also, again, you have a solid O line. You have a solid O line and you have a solid tackle core with Jack.
They're one of the better O lines in football.
One of the better O lines in football.
Yeah.
So even then, again, who knows how much longer Jack Conklin's going to be around, and
right.
you'll have Tristan Wirfs for the foreseeable future, which I do hate as a Steelers fan, but it's going to happen. Again, but I like the picks of bolstering the defense with
it's Jedrick Wills, not Tristan Wirfs. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did I say Wirfs?
Yeah.
Either way,
I missed that draft that year. I was mixing the two of them up left and right, so I get you there.
With Sika Ika and the other one, McGuire. I think that you needed those trying, because the defense was their big area of concern last year. It can't all be Myles Garrett,
right?
So I think getting a piece to enter that front seven is the correct choice. And the ending off with Luke Weipler to bolster the interior O line, also pretty solid. So draft grade. Sorry, what you're saying?
No, I was just going to say again that they didn't do it. Tillman's the only name on there that I think that's going to stick out. Maybe we'll see a surprise. Tillman should do pretty well with that team, though. I think he might even have an outside chance of being their 3. Because having watched Elijah Moore
right now, it's Cooper, Moore, and DPJ.
Peoples Jones, yeah.
So he could be a 3. He could overtake DPJ as the 3. I'm not married to the idea of DP. I would not be married to the idea of DPJ as 3. DPJ is fine, but
right,
you could do better. You could conceivably do better. So yeah, that goes out. Draft grade for this one, solid. Can we be good now?
Yeah, they'll hover around 500, I think, this year.
We'll see. Again, it's all going to depend on Watson if he gets better. All right, Dallas Cowboys. We both had the exact same in our mouth. We both had the exact same pick for them for 26. It said decided to go with defensive lineman Mozzie Smith,
right,
out of Michigan, which I don't hate. I thought it was shocking at the time, but when I look at it on paper, I don't hate because they did need help on their run defense.
Oh yeah. They struggled last year a lot. That was what they lost a lot of their games from teams just grinding on them.
They really did. The Eagles especially. They really took advantage of that first time around and almost second time around. So they did need help on the the interior line, especially in the run defense. The shocking one to me was Luke Schumacher for their tight end pick. They did need a tight end. I don't know, because I don't know what Darnell Wright did, because he just slipped down draft boards.
I actually did not Darnell Wright, Darnell Washington.
I'm sorry, Darnell Washington.
He his knees are apparently in his physicals came up.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's the reason he fell.
That makes sense. Okay, and now I understand it a little bit, but still, I mean, I would still take a bit of a risk on the guy. Maybe at 58, but actually, no, I would take a risk over Schumacher.
At 58, I don't know how, obviously I don't know the extent of how bad, his physicals came up, but they said that was the reason he kept on falling was because of his physical.
That makes sense. But yeah, they continue to invest in defense, which, again, their defense, I don't fully understand this pick because the defense wasn't the problem. The defense is actually the thing that bailed them out in most cases. I don't like that they shoved off offensive line to the later rounds because there are pieces on that O-line that are not going to be there very soon.
Yeah, and they also, they eventually did take Deuce Vaughn. They're going all in on Tony Pollard this year. I would have expected a move from them on running back earlier. However, with the surprise move, which we're going to talk to I think a lot of there was a certain running back that went way earlier than anyone expected. So
yeah. Draft also Deuce Vaughn's dad is on the coaching staff, which does. I mean,
that's a nice story.
It is a nice story, and yeah, at round 6 doesn't feel too much like nepotism, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Draft grade here. No, really, we swear, guys, this is our year. Why are you laughing? All right, moving on to the Denver Broncos. People are talking about this draft for like such the wrong reason. So I think because let me check. I don't know what Marvin Mims looks like. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the only black player they drafted in this draft. The only black player was Marvin Mims, which I mean, I'm not gonna like say like you need. It's just funny that like in this age of sports, in this age of the NFL, you can go an entire draft class with one black dude.
Yeah, that is astounding. Just by like statistics alone, like astounding.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
But anyway, because of a certain quarterback, they were not picking until round 2. But again, this is the only year in which it's going to play a major factor in how they draft.
Yeah, they're done with it now, so that's behind them.
Yeah, it's behind them now. Although they are paying for. Oh yeah, no, yeah, they're not paying for Sean Payton too. So this is the last year. Like the trades are really going to hurt them. I like the Drew Sanders pick. Drew Sanders is a guy that I did want the Steelers, but I'm surprised that he didn't go till round 3. I thought he would have gone like maybe late 1, early 2, but like I didn't think he'd go all less than round 3.
Yeah, he kept slipping.
Yeah, again, I like the depth pieces. They did a lot to fix the O-line in free agency. They didn't need to do that in the draft, but yeah, Alex Forsyth, maybe he's got it. Who knows? So final draft, and they did draft the white corner. They drafted the white cornerback.
The white cornerback. Yep.
Draft grade on this one, Broncos country. Let's white. I mean right. That's right. All right. Next team, Detroit Lions. Here's where shit started to get fucked.
This is the one that's the craziest one to talk about.
And there are a couple. I think let's not mix words. This is probably the biggest reach of any team in the first round.
And here's the thing. We're going to go through this pick by pick. I like all the players they picked, but it's like where they picked them are like, oh my Lord.
If you rearrange this draft, you have it's really good.
Yeah.
Problem is if they got people where they got them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the first one first. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. They traded down from 6 to 12. And they took Jahmyr Gibbs
at 12. At 12.
Yeah, I thoroughly just do not understand the logic here for a couple reasons. One, I mean, I know you lost Jamal Williams in free agency because I still want to know what you offer Jamal Williams that he was so insulted by that he went to play for the Saints for nothing.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much the same offer. It might have been a little bit. I think it was a 3-year deal they offered him, and it was for just above the veteran minimum. So
it had to have been it because it doesn't make sense otherwise. But but either way, you signed David Montgomery to be your feature back, which is 1. So we didn't expect to take him running back. 2, you need defensive help, and you need it badly. You had one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. And you decide to spend your number 12 pick on a running back who was not seen to go anywhere near this high.
No, I thought, we were talking about the Cowboys. I thought he would have been a reach for the Cowboys to take him, but, it was a position of need for them. When they picked Gibbs that night, I was dumbfounded by the pick.
Yeah, we all were. We're just like, what the hell is wrong with you?
So here, I mean, if you look at their 4th overall pick, number 45, Brian Branch at 12, I would have been like, okay, that makes sense.
I would have understood. But also, like, if you're gonna go running back anyway, why not just stay at 6 and take Bijan?
Right.
Like, if you wanted a running back, go with the guy who people want to be like, okay, a bit of a reach, and like you don't really need it, but like I get it in the top 10. Like, why did you do this? Like, Jack
Campbell loved them.
Yeah, I guess I like Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, again, they don't always go the most talented guys. They go like if they turn between someone like super talented or super gritty, they'll go gritty. Like that's just how they're gonna do it. Jack Campbell at 18, I think is a bit of a reach, but I do like that. Easily the best interior linebacker of the draft.
Yeah,
and one who position you need. Fine pick there. Again, like you rearrange some of these, it's fine. Brian Branch, absolute steal at 45, and they fleeced the Packers to do it.
Yep, absolutely. That was fantastic. But then, like, number 34, they took Laporta when Mayer was on the board. Like
Mayer was on the board. I don't know why they did this.
Yeah, that one was a head scratcher to me. And then round 3, potentially. This is potentially could be the draft pick we talk about from this draft in the long term. We have to see how things go. I think Hooker would have been ahead of Richardson if he had never gotten hurt.
Absolutely. No, Hooker would have been a first-round pick 100% had he not torn an ACL.
I think he would have been he had outside chance number 2, but I think he would have been number 3 for certain.
100%. Like, again, you having to sit and learn. Again, you have Jared Goff, who I think is the last year of his contract, if I'm not mistaken. It's
the last year of guaranteed money on his contract.
Last year guaranteed money, so they can cut him after this year if they really want to.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, he can sit behind Jared Goff for a little bit, so for at least a year, and see if he really is the guy. If not, you have the next draft. But yeah, so I think the draft grade for this one, this draft's either gonna be seen as an absolute win or a complete disaster. Also, fuck off, Swift. Which we'll get to. Actually, no, we can talk about it. Yeah, because the pick wasn't even 4th this year. Swift was
next year.
DeAndre Swift was traded for a 2024 4th round pick. So what team? We'll get to that later. But
of course, but just like speaking on Swift real quick, because he's on the last year of his rookie deal. So it makes sense that that's what the compensation would be. But we'll talk about where he went. Yeah.
Yeah, but also it's just like it just shows like how much DeAndre Swift has fallen out of favor with Lions brass.
Absolutely,
because he was seen as like a really quality running back in his first year, on the Lions.
Even going into the last year, if you watched Hard Knocks, he was perceived
their
as the
guy.
one. Yeah,
but then like man, he just fell off like a series of injuries and also just questionable decisions running the rock. He just fell really hard, and I feel bad. I think Swift is talented, and he went to some place where his talent might get unlocked. We'll see, but yeah, we'll see how that happens. Up next, the Green Bay Packers. Lot of picks from the Packers.
They moved around. Look at how many trades they made. There's a lot of trades.
They were involved in a lot of trades, a lot of questionable decisions. First of which is their first round pick, Lucas Van Ness. Who, look, the Packers. Let's miss words. Packers have needed wide receiver help for
forever,
several years.
Yeah,
they're in that position where they have the opportunity to take the best receiver on the board because none hadn't been taken yet. What do? Take an edge. Never change, Green Bay. Never change it.
Van Ness is a stud. Don't get me wrong on that, but again, it's the same situation as Atlanta. You picked the wrong position.
You picked the wrong one. I do think it's funny though. They have the guy who's literally dating Cole Kmet's sister.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting dynamic.
That's gonna be fun. Packers versus Bears is gonna be fun. But yeah, again, of course they took a tight end. Again, questionable considering they had decided DeGuara still. So I mean, I know what's his nuts.
Jared Cook.
No, not Jared Cook. Shit. Mercedes Lewis is still there. Mercedes Lewis, I think, is still there.
Yeah. I think you're right. Tanyan went to the Bears.
Tanyan's gone. Fuck, who's the other guy? I cannot think of this guy's name.
Mercedes Lewis is on the team. He might be he might even be a free agent. I think Mercedes Lewis is not on the team. I think that they actually have
Jay Sternberger. That's the guy I was thinking of.
Jay Sternberger.
He's no longer on the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I get tight end, but also I do think they might have gone the wrong one. Again, I don't know the stats of Darnell Washington's niece, so I don't know. They did finally take a receiver in round 2, so they're casually moving up the ladder.
That's about normal for them.
I forgot they took 2 tight ends. Holy shit!
Yeah,
they took 2 tight ends in the first 3 rounds.
And so then, like, look at the cavalcade of picks they had in the late rounds, though.
They did.
And, they taking another quarterback is not the worst idea with the uncertainty of Jordan Love.
But they could have used at 45? Brian Branch.
Yeah.
They had a dire needed safety. And
how did he fall so far? Like, how and why did Branch fall so far?
I don't know what happened with Brian Branch. It really is. But, yeah, a lot of picks. Like, look, some of these guys have to work out. Some of them have to.
There's so many of them.
So many. Like, there's so many that there's no chance that all of these guys flame out, right? Right. But yeah, draft grade on this one. Draft grade for the Packers. Joke's on you, Aaron. We still didn't take a wide receiver.
Pretty much.
Moving on to our next team. Who is next on the list? The Houston Texans.
Wow.
So, look, wow. Okay, first of all, they shocked me because the whole thing with them not liking Stroud, giant smoke screen. Kind of. Because we didn't think to take Stroud at 2, but they did. I didn't think to take Stroud at 2. You did. You had that pick.
Yeah.
Correct. But then they pulled maybe just the biggest like whip it out, slap it on the table move I've ever seen in all my years of watching the NFL.
When they said on that broadcast that Houston is trading back up, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. They decided because we all knew that Anderson was the guy they really wanted. Thing is, they needed a quarterback, but Anderson's the guy they really wanted. What did they do? They trade up to 3 to take Will Anderson.
Ballsy move.
That's a ballsy move, and if it works out, great. Anderson, potentially generational edge rusher.
I think the most surefire bet in this draft. So that pick, Stroud's the question mark. Anderson's not. Anderson is going to be a stud.
Yeah, so let me just get the trade details on. So to trade up to number 3, they gave up their number again. They gave the number. So they got the 3 and the 105, and in return they gave up the 12, the 33. For this year, they gave up a 2024 first and a 2024 third.
So you got 2 guarantees though here, and the player that most people have ranked as the player of the draft. I'm fine with giving up next year's first round draft pick for that, 100%.
Yeah,
because basically what this comes to is one of the picks that they gained from Watson turned into Will Anderson, more or less.
Essentially, yeah. But yeah, aside from that, they got again Juice Scruggs, maybe the best name of the draft.
Yeah.
To the Houston Texans. Again, both that interior line got a weapon in Nathaniel Dell. Again, you need youth because you don't really have any receivers anymore.
They don't have much at all on that team.
They don't have much of anything. Again,
they're a super young team.
One of those teams who they can basically they can just shoot fish in a barrel. Like anything they picked could be seen as reasonable.
They have Devin Singletary.
Yeah, Devin Singletary. But yeah, so that's it. Draft grade for this one. D'Amico Ryans got balls the size of Texas.
I loved everything they did. They really just getting Anderson was a humongous win.
That was absolutely. Again, if this works out, Jack Easterby has saved his job. No, not Jack Easterby. Nick Caserio. Nick Caserio has saved his job. Jack Easterby's already gone. Indianapolis Colts. Again, a lot of draft picks to work with.
Capital, yeah.
Number 4 overall, they took QB Anthony Richardson. Guy shot up draft boards in the weeks leading up to the draft. This is we've talked about it a couple times. He is the epitome of a boom bust pick.
I can't think of anybody else in the past several seasons. Maybe some people viewed Lamar like it, but I don't even think Lamar, because Lamar went later. Lamar was at the very tail end of the first round. So for as high as he went,
when I saw Anthony Richardson, I thought Malik Willis. I 100% believed he was Malik Willis.
He's bigger. He's stronger.
He's faster.
He's literally he had the best combine of any quarterback I can remember. So after that combine, his stock went through the roof.
His combine was ridiculous. I think he said every major record for QB at the combine, which is what helped him go this high.
Yeah,
the reason they took him at 4, one man, Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen pulled magic out of Jalen Hurts last season. So much so that I'm a little concerned about like what Jalen Hurts is going to look like after Shane Steichen. But I think he's going to be all right. I think he's got the talent to be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're hoping for the same results with Anthony Richardson. Only thing is, I firmly don't believe he should be the day one starter. I think he needs time to develop. If you start AR-15 day one, you are asking for trouble.
Agreed. They have to start Minshew at first.
They have to. Josh Downs falling to them at 3. Fantastic pickup.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Again, got to be both of the O-line, which has become bizarrely suspect over the last several seasons.
2 years ago, probably the best one in football. Yeah.
And now it's one that got their quarterback killed several times. Like
several different
quarterbacks. One of the most sacked quarterbacks in football, Matt Ryan. He didn't even start every game. That's what's sad about it. Oh yeah, so great pieces to try and build up that defense again. Great pieces to come some more offensive weapons. I like this draft overall, but yeah, this draft is going to depend on whether or not Richardson can develop.
Exactly.
So yeah, draft grade here, off the carousel. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they're hoping they got their first great savior since Andrew Luck. Will he be?
Question mark.
Moving on to our next team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, look, I'll admit, they had a very unsexy pick for their first rounder in Anton Harrison. But I do think it's a correct pick because their starting tackle did leave in free agency. And look, you got to protect the franchise. Trevor Lawrence has emerged as a legitimate starter in the NFL. He's becoming the guy who was advertised coming out of college.
Right.
So you got to protect that. I think Anton Harrison, again, really, really solid lineman. A guy who I wouldn't have minded going to the Steelers had all the other good tackles been taken at this point. Get to that later. Brenton Strange, a good one, good insurance policy in case Evan Ingram's hand turned back to stone, or if he leaves free agency because he has the franchise tag. See, I like the running back choice. Give a 1-2 punch with ETN, and I like the placement of the running back, Tank Bixby at number 3 at round 3. But yeah, aside from that, a lot of depth pieces, a lot of things to bolster the defense. I'm surprised they waited until round 5 to address safety, but again, this is not a deep safety class, so I get it. They did need secondary help, which they did do to address in the later rounds. But again, most of the really good ones were taken at this point, so I do understand why they decided to wait on this one. But yeah, Jacksonville is a team that all you need was some stability, which you did not have under Urban Meyer, and this team could be legit. And honestly, still could probably win the division.
I don't see how why they wouldn't this year, unless something catastrophic happens. They have to be the easy favorites there.
100%. So draft grade here. Trevor Lawrence became the old man of the division overnight, which we'll get to why in a second. So up next, let's see who's next on the team. The Kansas City Chiefs. First round pick, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, at a local boy out of Kansas State. I don't think either of us had this dude going in the first round, but
nope.
You did need a replacement. I thought they would go edge because you did need a replacement for Frank Clark. The guy I did have taking was taken before this, which we'll get to later. But yeah, like I said, you needed somebody to replace Frank Clark because he wasn't great last season. Again, offense, another wide receiver because they did lose Mecole Hardman and Juju Smith-Schuster, so Gary Tony is really all they have left, and Sky Moore.
Sky Moore, yeah. I thought, and it's funny, I thought that he'd go wide receiver in the first round, and I was wildly off the mark with who I picked too. He went in the third round, but Rashee White looks like should be a good fit. And Mahomes has made so much out of just about anybody he's had on the team. So
it's the Kansas City. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to give the graph right now. Giving us draft grade, giving us draft picks is borderline unfair because it really is. Like it's the Kansas City Chiefs are a well-oiled machine. Look, as far as we know, because we have not seen a giant crater in this team yet. No matter what you take away, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
They're still a team to beat in the AFC. There are some contenders, though. There are some contenders that can take them down. I'm just very curious because because they can't be this good for this long.
Right.
it's like it's just impossible. It's like I'm curious what has to happen for them to like absolutely just fall off the cliff. If it can even happen, if it can happen. Keep in mind, we're going into the time where Mahomes' contract is really about to hit.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that affects. And like they're doing this for 10 years, so we will see how that affects the team going forward. So let's see. Next team we got the Las Vegas Raiders. Now for the first round pick amplifies two things. One, just how utterly awful Mike Mayock was at this.
Yes.
And two, just how like not great Chandler Jones was last season.
Right.
And I like Chandler Jones. I think Chandler Jones is arguably a Hall of Famer in the future. But yeah, he was. You thought him and Matt Cox were going to be this great 1-2 pass rush tandem, and yeah, it just is not panned out.
He did steamroll Mac Jones though, so
Did give us my favorite play from last season. But yeah, Tyree Wilson again, physical freak. I think he did great thing at Tech. Michael Mayer in the second round traded up to get him just because of the parting Darren Waller. I'm surprised he fell out of the first round entirely. Again, like I said, I still think he's the best overall tight end in this draft class. Trying to overhaul that defense, give Jimmy Garoppolo some weapons because they are rolling with him next season. I thought they might take the quarterback in the first round. They did not.
But I like what they did with their quarterback pick because O'Connell and Derek Carr both went to Fresno State. Carr was endorsing him the whole time. He wants to mentor him. That was a very smart. Not Carr, Garoppolo. Yeah. And I'm thinking of the disregard that. I'm thinking of Carr, and that's the one that the Saints took. Yeah. So disregard that. But no, what they did there with when they took O'Connell though, again, Garoppolo. So injury prone that
like O'Connell. I think O'Connell will still be starting by week 8.
It's a good chance of it.
Yeah, just because, like I said, it is Jimmy G, pretty injury prone. So yeah. So draft grade for the Raiders, drafting first round in the first round. What team are you?
Yeah, Wilson's gonna be good.
Yeah, Wilson's gonna be amazing. At least I hope so. My only concern is Josh McDaniels. That's my only concern. Chargers. So yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna like. I don't know about the hold pride over in this mock draft. I will hold pride in calling Quentin Johnson to the Chargers. Because yeah,
why did they go wide receiver though?
Well, okay, look here. I will defend this pick in some regard because look, like on the surface here, it's like what, but then you realize, okay, Keenan Allen getting a bit long in the tooth, a little bit injury prone. Mike Williams can't do it all by himself, so they did need somebody to try and aid this. Somebody to try and aid that offense with Justin Herbert. Although I do agree, defense was their biggest need.
Oh, 100%.
But I don't know what you throw in to change that. I think that goes to the top. I think that goes deeper than any one player could have fixed. Yeah, look, Quentin Johnson. Or someone argue he is actually a better prospect than JSN, who did go before him.
So here's the most interesting thing though with the Chargers. I think we have to double check. They didn't make a single trade, so they didn't. They're like they might be the only team who didn't. I'd have to double check, but I think they might be the only team who did not was not involved in anything.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is look you have your franchise QB. You have a good O line because Rashawn Slater will be coming back next year. Hopefully, Zion Johnson develops. My only concerns is at the top. Like, if you can trade away your coach, I'd be like, okay, good. Well, that's a win. But you're dealing with a coach who I think is vastly overmatched. I'm surprised Brandon Staley's after the playoffs. I'm surprised Brandon Staley still has a job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And second, you're dealing with the offensive genius of Kellen Moore behind up top. So, yeah, look, this is a team that could either be really good or could suck really hard again, and neither would surprise me.
Agreed.
So draft grade here. This offense is going to put up 40, 50 points a game. But don't worry, we'll find a way to blow it. Yeah. Up next, the other LA team. The LA Rams. Again, this is a team who they felt the strategy of fuck them picks. We saw them picks fuck back. And this is the results. So yeah, look, I mean, O-line, massive need. Could have used one in the first round, but again, because of what they did, first round picks. So they had to. There's a lot of case of take the best player available where you can. Just load up on players. Like this is the thing the Rams have not done over the last several years, which is to load up on players. The only question mark I have.
Here we go.
Round 4. You actually spent a legitimate asset on Stetson Bennett. A guy
I think they could have gotten him either like in the 6th or 7th, and maybe even undrafted.
You could have signed him as an undrafted free agent. I don't know why any team would spend draft capital on this dude.
I mean, I guess the Bulldog connection with Stafford is there. They didn't, they were going to take a quarterback when I saw that pop up that because they traded to make that, and I just saw it pop up. I'm like, oh my god! When Stetson went up, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. They had to make a lot of moves to overhaul a team that was just an outright disappointment last season.
They did get a punter.
They drafted a punter.
He'll get some work.
Yeah. Still got a kicker though. Still did not take a kicker.
Right.
They at least built that one. They at least got a punter. So yeah, look, this is a team that I think could very well contend for the number 1 draft pick next season. Depending on the health of some of their players. Because, like, if Stafford's healthy for a full season, if Stafford comes back as healthy for a full season, if Kupp is healthy for the full season, they did lose Ramsey, but we'll see what else they can do. But yeah, look, if this team can develop, maybe it depends on the health and longevity of some of their players. So
agreed.
Draft grade here. Did we really draft Stetson Bennett? All right. Up next, the Miami Dolphins. Easiest draft to go over. Why? Because they literally had 4 picks.
Oh, they didn't trade either. So yeah,
they didn't trade either. But also they had no capital. They had 4 picks.
They had nothing. Yeah,
they had nothing to work with because of their owner. They basically had to just do whatever they can. I like the pickup of Cam Smith, even though I don't think they just traded for Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard's still good. So I don't know why they decided to. I don't know why they decided to take Cam Smith in round 2. I don't know why they decided to wait till round 7 to address the O-line. You could have done anything, anything. There were plenty of O-linemen available who could have developed. I mean, Devin O'Kane's not bad. Elijah Higgins is fine. Although again, I feel like there's a bunch of positions they don't need. Yeah,
this was just like, who's available? Like, let's throw a board. Okay.
On the board? Sure, why not? I don't care if we need him or not. Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, draft grade here. We had 4 picks to make 2 and not die. What do you want? All right. Minnesota Vikings. This is a one that we had no idea what the Vikings were going to do.
Yeah.
Again, this is a big case of a team vastly overachieving.
Yes.
Because 13 wins, that's just 13 wins at that point differential. Just again, should not happen. So round 1, I decided to go with Jordan Addison again. A solid pickup to aid the departing Adam Thielen. To replace the departing Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Although I do think that, because I think weren't Deontay Banks and Joey Porter Jr. still on the board?
Absolutely, Joey Porter went in the 2nd round, and Banks was they both were.
Just like what the did you realize your secondary was one of the worst in the league last year, right?
Yeah, and this was also a point I thought that Levis at this point, when he hadn't been taken, this seemed like the logical destination.
Yeah. But no, they decided to roll with Kirk Cousins. Didn't take a quarterback until round 5. Jaren Hall. I don't know I don't even know who that guy is.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with him. But going back to round 1, geez, Jefferson and Addison, it's all jump balls. Like,
literally all jump balls.
He does not have to do anything special.
No. Look, Kirk, all you do is the bare minimum you can get this team to wins. Although, again, I think that my biggest question marks are on this defense. They did lose a lot of veterans, a lot of talent on the defensive core. Nearly lost more, but Harrison Smith decided to restructure his contract. Draft grade for the Minnesota Vikings didn't reach for Hendon Hooker. I call that a win. New England Patriots. This is the draft that we looked at and we seethed with anger. Because I don't know how, I don't know why, but somehow Christian Gonzalez fell to them at 17.
17. They traded down and still got him.
Yeah. And look, and this is a like this. They were either going to go Christian Gonzalez or some player that we'd never heard of,
right?
And they went Christian Gonzalez, and like we all know what they do. They develop these corners into superstars. Like it doesn't matter like where, like he can turn like just nobody corners into superstars. Imagine what they're going to do with someone as upper crust and talent as Gonzalez. They also loaded up. They loaded up heavily on defense. I don't know what the hell. What the hell is MD? Who the hell is Chad Ryland?
Chad Ryland's the kicker.
Oh, what the fuck is MD?
I don't know. That's definitely a typo because because they traded with the Jets and took the kicker, and everybody was like, "What the fuck just happened?" So
he went to Maryland. I don't know why they put that.
They put the school instead of the position. Yeah, because when they made they traded with the Jets, which was bizarre to begin with.
They did screw the Jets in a way that I'll get to in a bit.
So, but they also had one of the funniest moments of the draft was when Keion White got drafted and they cut to him at his house and he just looks despondent. Like, I don't know if he had not gotten the phone call or what, but he just looks pissed off.
I don't know if they like got him earlier or if they like got like the wrong footage, but like, yeah, he looked fucking pissed.
He looked pissed.
He's just like, yeah, he's looking like, shit, really? All right, fine. But like, yeah, Keion White. I think Keion White's a good pick at 46. I think Keion White is arguably first talent.
Yeah, he could have went in the first. So yeah, of course, the Patriots get 2 first-round players. Like, fall to them.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, their strategy was load up on defense and also really load up on defense. Like, that's it. They took 1, 2, 3, 4 offensive players. That's the whole thing.
So they still have question marks at wide receiver.
Question marks at receiver and question marks at quarterback.
Yes,
let's be completely honest.
That's true.
So yeah, draft grade. At least we'll have a good defense.
Yeah, they will.
So yeah, up next we got the New Orleans Saints.
This is where I was going with the quarterback with Haener, Fresno State.
Right.
Yeah. So Derek Carr kind of was like, "Hey, I want him," and they said yes. So
right, sure.
I like that.
Yeah. Round 4? Yeah, sure. Why the hell not? Mm-hmm. Because we all know Derek Carr, he's a temporary fix. He's not the long-term answer. I don't know if Jake Haener is, honestly, for being sure, but I like the Brian Bresee pick at 29.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like that
good
too.
pick. I think they definitely need to go defense. One of the front 7 decided to go edge. Decided to go interior D-line. I like that. Isaiah Folksy trying to do that. Kendry Miller. This is the insurance pick if Kamara does go to jail.
He might get more play. Kamara's also he's banged up at this point. Yeah. Like he's gonna get.
I'm shocked. I didn't realize Kamara's literally never put up 1,000 rushing yards in a season.
He's because a lot of them have always been dump passes. Yeah, he has way more receiving yards than you realize.
He's a good receiving back, but like I am shocked that he's literally never put up 1,000 rushing yards. A little bit shocking to me. But yeah, I do like A.T. Perry at 6. Again, this is also an insurance policy. Like, and if Michael Thomas, when Michael Thomas gets hurt,
he's not going to be on the field.
No, he's not going to be on the field for the whole season. What's she talking about? But yeah, there's that. So all good draft. But again,
yeah, they did
solid draft grade here. If we don't win this division, Dennis Allen should be stoned. New York Giants. The one thing they needed was a wide receiver. Although at this point all the good ones were taken, so they had to go with their secondary need, which was secondary. They ended up going with Maryland product Deonte Banks.
Solid pick.
So really solid pick. I think like all these are really solid picks. I like Jalen Hyatt in the 3rd. I think that's a bit of
Jalen Hyatt in the 3rd. I had him going in the 1st to Kansas City.
Good.
So, really solid pick. And John Michael Schmitz is quite probably the most intelligent offensive lineman they said the entire draft.
Probably. Yeah, I think you're right. He's up there. But yeah, I like that pickup. Eric Gray, in case something happened to Saquon, who, by the way, let's just say as today, has not signed the tag.
Yep. So that
I will stand firm in the fact I think the Giants made a mistake in tagging him and extending Daniel Jones.
Yep.
Probably should have done the other way around. Yeah, again, this is a team that is trying to just like load up on their defense. Again, I think Deonta Banks is a good piece of that secondary which they desperately need help. So yeah, a draft grade on this one. God, I'm such garbage at this.
Yeah.
Moving on to your boys.
Oh, my internet connection's going down.
Oh no! Oh God! I can't even. Okay, so actually, we'll save how the Patriots screwed you guys later. So, point is, you guys needed tackle. Because of something the Patriots did, none of the good ones were still on the board. So, you decided to pivot to another need. You decided to go and you decided to make Aaron Rodgers feel at home, and you decided to take Will McDonald, who had 15. Like I had him going in the first round. 15 is a bit of a reach.
Yeah, I mean, he's the most explosive edge rusher in the draft, and this is like not a knock. And if you saw me on draft night, like I can't be knocking him, but it's where they took him. You know, it's 100% what the issue is.
I think trade back, but also like you could have taken. You had any receiver you wanted.
Right, and obviously the receiver would have been Riches because the Jets have 4 receivers right now.
But also, like some of those guys are on 1-year contracts.
Yeah, Hardman and Corey Davis is on his last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously
you could have gotten away with a receiver here.
Yeah, 100%. And you when it comes to that position, especially if you're getting a stud, you take that opportunity. I would have thought, or McDonald again. If they had traded back to say 25 and took McDonald, like it would have been fine. But it's just like it's where it was.
But the highlight of the New York Jets draft was the kid on night 1. He
was great. The big kid, yeah.
He had optimism. You could tell the Jets had not broken his spirits yet. Give it time, kid. It'll happen. But yeah, again, like Will McDonald, I was laughing more of the fact that like you're like, okay, let's take a receiver. We got anyone we want. Will McDonald.
Will McDonald.
So draft grade on this one. Will McDonald, our first round made Deacon sad. Jets Jets.
I did like the second round pick, I will say though. Tippmann in the second round
I like Joe Tippmann.
And Carter Warren, if he pans out, he's very raw, but he's huge. So if they can teach him, that might have been a good pick.
I mean, the draft strategy here is just get whatever Aaron Rodgers wants.
And we got Kuntz.
And you got Kuntz. You got Zach Kuntz. That's a win in and of itself.
He better wear 69.
Yeah. Oh, he has to. That's a lot.
He'll be the #1 selling jersey.
Next one, Philadelphia Eagles. I'm just gonna give the draft grade right now. The draft grade for this one is seriously how we keep getting away with this, because seriously, NFC, I have to ask, why do you keep letting Howie get away with this?
Look at round 4, Kelly Ringo in round 4. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, like again, you let Jalen. Like look, we said in the draft, there were the 3 great places Jalen Carter could have gone. The Seahawks, they passed. Steelers, we're not going to trade to get him. And then the Eagles. And like when he became available at 9, Eagles snapped him up. Actually, Detroit. Yeah, Detroit traded out of the top 10, but they traded up to get Jalen Carter. I don't know why, because I don't think the Bears would have touched him with a 10-foot pole. But
somebody like the Bears must have been
they're probably scared. They're probably scared of somebody else jumping.
Somebody else jumping up for him. Yeah.
But yeah, they got Jalen Carter, who like again, if they can just like sit Carter down, tell him to get his shit together, him and Jordan Davis are going to terrorize interior offensive lines for the next 10 years.
This defense is top 2 probably next year.
Oh God, like absolutely.
They might be the best in football. Like
they might be. And the fact, like, even like you got Nolan Smith, who I had going top 15, falling to them at 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got. Good.
It's just unbelievable. This draft class was they hit a home run like almost every single round.
Yeah, Tyler Steen to try and aid potentially leaving veterans in the next couple of years. Sidney Brown, Kelly Ringo falling in fourth is fucking absurd. But one of the biggest ones happened outside of the draft because we talk about Swift. Like when we saw Jahmyr Gibbs, like okay, so Swift's on thin ice. The next day, he was traded to the Eagles.
Yeah,
and guess where Swift went to college? Georgia.
It's pretty much the Philadelphia Bulldogs at this point.
Yeah, you're becoming the Philadelphia Bulldogs. Like the Georgia Bulldogs made the first team to win a BCS national championship and a Super Bowl. If
and
this
Swift,
works out.
So they have Swift, Gainwell, and Rashad Penny plus Boston Scott. Like
Boston
they have.
Scott.
So this run, obviously they like to go with by committee. Yeah, and Jalen Hurts is, lethal. This team is going to be so good this year. They're going to be better than they were last year.
Yeah, honestly, this team could win the NFC again.
This team could. I don't see how they don't.
Yeah. Like again, this team probably does win the NFC again next year. Like I can see him being back in the Super Bowl again next season. So like I said, draft grade easily how they can get away with this.
Yeah.
All right, now on to my boys, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So look, what I said coming in, this thing I wanted. The first round I want offensive tackle. And I saw a run on them happening. And I'm like, oh God, we're going to miss out. We're going to miss out. What are we going to do? Omar Khan said, don't worry, son. I got you. He decided to trade with the Patriots.
He didn't. Bill Belichick said, hey, Pittsburgh, you want to fuck the Jets?
The Patriots traded with the Pittsburgh Steelers to put them ahead of the Jets. So, in reality, the Patriots beat them 3 times this year. We got Broderick Jones, which I was so happy about.
He's a stud. I really like Broderick Jones.
I could not stand another scene of watching Dan Moore get overmatched at offensive tackle for another year. Like Jones is a physical freak, great athleticism, great protection skills, and like again, if he pans out, this position is set for the next 10 years. I am that confident this dude will be good. But even aside from that, I got Broderick Jones, awesome. Secondary, there was a certain little corner out there by the name of Joey Porter Jr., who scared the ever-living shit out of me because I felt the Steelers were going to ignore significant needs on the roster and go for the legacy pick. They didn't do that. I'm like, okay.
And he fell.
But then at the draft, at the first round end, I'm just like, wait, is no one going to take Joey Porter Jr.? And I'm like, he's still there. He's still there. He's still there. Then at the end of the first round, it's like, holy crap. No one took Joey Porter Jr. in the first round. Steelers, jump on that at 32.
And they were getting calls too, apparently.
They were getting calls.
They were getting quite a few calls for that pick, and they said no.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would agree because it's a matter of what would I rather have? Would I rather have a bunch of mid-round selections,
right,
or would I rather have the third best corner in the draft?
Yeah, I agree.
Because for me, corner ranking, I think you had Devin Witherspoon, and you had Christian Gonzalez,
yeah,
and then Joey Porter Jr. I don't know, I don't know what happened. It feels like I'm not putting this out there because I don't think it's true, but it does feel like Joey Porter did some Archie Manning shit where it's just my son goes to you, he will not play. because I don't understand how he fell so far because Joey Porter Jr. fucking quality ass corner, big physical ball hawking corner, which we did desperately need. That's already hit out of the park. Keanu Benton, I like the pick in theory. Only thing is I think that interior linebacker was a bigger position of need for us than another. We did sign Ogunjobi. Cam Hayward is still killing it on the interior defensive line. So I felt like we need interior linebacker more. We had 2 really good ones available at 49. We didn't take them, although I do like Keanu Benton. Darnell Washington, potential steal at round 3.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of a luxury pick.
Yeah, because you again going back to the Bills, obviously with round 3, you take the best available player easily, but you have Freiermuth, who I think is probably at this point a top 5 tight end. So
he's absolutely a top 5 tight end in football. We have Pat Fryermuth. We just resigned Zach Gentry, but he's only a 1-year deal. So like this is for when he inevitably leaves. We got Connor Hayward, who's like good. So like this is basically like an insurance policy for Gentry, and anything happens to him, but also like for the future when Gentry leaves. I like that pick. And again, like Darnell Washington's fucking huge.
He's a big boy. He's got a big wingspan.
He's basically a tackle that plays a tight end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also like Nick Herbig at the edge. Again, like we don't know what's going to happen with Highsmith, so yeah, good to have that piece. And again, Corey Trice, Spencer Anderson. This is basically feeling things out for depth. Again, I think Chuks Okorafor, who was our best lineman for the past couple of years, which just saying that out loud makes you realize how much trouble we've been in. He's on the last year of his deal, so we'll see what happens with the match for this. Maybe Spencer Anderson develops. We don't know. The point is, we did everything we needed to do in the first couple rounds. Minus inside linebacker, we can do that. We can do that next year. That's fine. Or maybe Landon Roberts and Cole Holcomb work out. We don't know. Draft grade on this. Steelers gone Super Bowl.
I should have just called the shot because I knew that's what I was going to say.
There we go. Up next, San Francisco 49ers. They had a bizarre draft, to say the least. Bailey, the kicker's the weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you draft like I know Jake Moody is good, but also like I just find it weird when people use anything bigger than a day 3 pick on a kicker.
And it's weird, obviously maybe Gould left on his own. Like Robbie Gould is one of the greatest kickers of all time. Didn't really show any signs of slowing down last year, but for them to have moved on from him, that must have been on his end, I think. Because I just don't see any scenario that the 49ers would give up on the solid veteran who is reliable like that for a rookie, which, could turn into a Rodrigo. You never know. But for them to take him that early was alarming.
Yeah, like we very rarely see kickers go this high. Arguably the great kicker of all time wasn't even drafted.
Right, that's true.
So we don't know how that goes, but like I mean the 49ers I think are one of the most talented rosters in football. So like they didn't really need much.
Up and down, up and down. They only started with the 3rd round picks mostly because of the McCaffrey trade, but they're going to be fine.
The one surprising I'm surprised they didn't take was a quarterback, but I forgot they got Sam Darnold in free agency.
Yeah, so. They have Darnold, and so they did not move Trey Lance. There was rumors that the teams were calling for Trey Lance, but obviously that did not happen. I think for them it was a smart move for that not to happen because if Purdy goes down, you don't want to have to rely on Darnold. Darnold is pretty much there for camp because both Purdy and Lance coming off injuries.
We know this team. Eventually, at some point, they will need to rely on Darnold.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when with this team. So draft grade here. We spent a 3rd rounder on a kicker.
For Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Up next, Seattle Seahawks. I thought for sure they would have gone with Jalen Carter at number 5. I think they got scared with his character issues, so they ended up going with the corner.
And Witherspoon's great. They're going to be.
He was the best corner in this draft.
They are definitely at this point with him and Wooden. Wow, that's a secondary.
Yeah, Tariq Woolen definitely was really going to make a scary cornerback tandem for years to come, which you do need in the past happy NFC West.
Yes, absolutely.
Not to mention they started the run wide receivers. They were the first team to take a wide receiver, and they got arguably the best on the board in Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Just fell right to them.
Didn't have to do anything, just fell right to them.
Yep.
Yeah, so again, got to give weapons to Geno or your next QB whenever that one may come. I like the pick. I like Njigba a lot. Again, he had other pieces: Derek Hall, Zach Charbonnet, who I guess is competing with Kenneth Walker for the starting job in practice. I don't know how that race is going to go.
Well, they might be a little bit afraid with Walker. With he was banged up last year. It's a smart move to get another running back, especially Penny was never coming back, but without Penny there, getting the very few teams at this point can operate with one running back. So that made sense.
Yeah, it does. Again, bringing pieces to both to the D line, both to that defense. Again, we thought Seattle was going to fucking suck without Russell Wilson. And in reality, it might be the best thing to happen to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll see. Draft grade. Thanks again, Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they would have wanted to get in with defensive tackle, but again, all the really good were taken here, so they went with interior D line, Calijah Kancey. Look, they may have lost some pieces, but that defense can still wreck worlds.
Absolutely.
And Calijah Kancey and Vita Vea on the interior. Like again, if you're in the NFC South, you need to invest in some guards, some centers, something.
Those two together, Vita Vea is one of the I think if you were to line up every single player in the NFL and say what person do you not running at me right now, you point at Vita Vea. So, getting another guy like Calijah Kancey, they're going to have quite a pass rush. They're going to be dominant on the defensive side of the ball. They probably are going to be among the best rush defenses in the NFL, I think.
They got Cody Mock in the second round, which I do like that as a pickup for them to replace. Crap, I cannot remember the guy that just left from free agency. But the point is, they had a big tackle leave, so Cody Mock, solid replacement. Yaya Diaby, again, another contender for one of the best names in the draft.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to fix up that draft. This is I thought could have potentially gone quarterback. Again, also, but fucking what's his nuts?
Kyle Trask is still there.
Kyle Trask is still there, and also Will Levis was still there. I thought they might have gone him, but they decided to go interior D line. I like that as a pickup. Aside from that, so I mean, yeah. Look, point is, I just want to see where I don't think it matters what they do.
Right.
They still have a lot more issues that they couldn't address based on where they were. So draft grade here. Wake us up when Todd Bowles is gone.
Pretty much.
I firmly believe, unless they have some miraculous turnaround and they have 10, 11 wins, Todd Bowles is gone after this year.
They're going to win 5 or 6 tops, I think.
Yeah. So up next, the Tennessee Titans, who they surprised us all when they took Peter Skoronski in the first round.
That solid pick. Yeah, when he became available, the Bears did not take him. They jumped on it. That was one of the quicker picks too. The pick was in really quick after the Bears pick came in, and then apparently, as it came out, they were trying to trade up for Levis into the first round. They were trying to get back into the first round, and obviously they did not find a partner, but they were able to get the second pick in the second round. Levis was there.
That gave us the funniest saga of the entire first round. Just ESPN consistently cutting back to Will Levis and his girlfriends.
Just sitting there.
Will Levis's girlfriend had a look on face just like, shit, I picked the wrong horse to back.
Yep.
should answer AR-15's calls.
But for the team though, him falling to the second, they don't have to have the 5th-year option on him. It's going to save the team money. It sucks for him, but for the team, it's a good thing. To have him as a second round pick. It's going to be interesting to see. You got Tannehill, Levis, and Malik Willis now. So this is an interesting quarterback room. One of the most interesting ones in football.
Yeah. The only thing they didn't do is, well, first of all, I think Peter Skoronski's going to do wonders for Derrick Henry in the running game. Problem is, they have not done anything to address their passing game.
So yeah,
they didn't take a wide receiver until round 7.
They obviously Skoronski. I never fault a team for taking, even if they're loaded at it, an offensive lineman in the first round if they're a stud. I never fault a team at the F for doing that. I think it's one of the smartest things any team can do. So I credit them on that. But again, JSN was right there.
So yeah, draft grade for this particular one. What's better than 1 raw project QB? 2 raw project QBs.
In a row.
Back-to-back years. Remember when we thought Malik was going to go potentially 2?
He was also there the first night. Didn't get picked.
All right. Final one, Washington Commies. Again, quarterback was a big need for them again because I think we said it best and it's been said a lot. They gave up way too many big plays in the secondary over the years. Emmanuel Forbes, again, solid pickup. Gonzalez was right there. I don't know what they didn't like about Gonzalez. He was right there. Decided to go Forbes. A little undersized as a dude who had been scoffed at several years ago. But again, solid pick. Dude can play. I like pick up Jadavius Martin in the second round. Did a lot to try and fix the secondary, fix the bolster up the front seven, and add to the O-line, which means they are rolling with Sam Howell for the entire season.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be real interesting. A lot of faith in Howell.
A lot of faith in Howell. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Draft grade here. Who cares? The bad man is gone.
The bad man is gone. They're winners already this season.
They've won already by doing that. So those are our draft grades for the official team, but we are not done. We are not quite done yet. We are doing one more thing because I didn't do it before the show, but I think, you know what? Yeah, I thought, fuck it, let's do it live. We are going to tally our draft scores. Mike and I both did round one mocks. So scoring is going to go like this. So we'll get 1 point for every correct player to the team, bonus point for the correct spot, 5 points for every correct trade up, but for every correct trade result, but I don't think it's going to apply. I don't think either of us.
I don't think we got a perfect one.
Yeah. And then 1 point for every correct player taken. So let's do mine first. So let's see. I had Stroud at I had Stroud at 1-1, so that's 2 points. Also, one more thing, because I didn't even think about this. So if we picked a player to the right team, but they went in a later round, we used to get a point for that. So
right,
like I'll get 1 point for Anderson. I'll get a point for Stroud. I get 2 points for Richardson. Then yeah, nothing. I get 1 point for Levis because I did have him going to Tennessee.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah, nothing. Wow, I was okay. I'll take credit for Broderick Jones. I don't even. Yep. I got a point for that. So let's see. Broderick Jones. Let's see what else we got. I get 2 points for Johnson since I did call that.
Yep.
Let's see.
I had the spot right, but the team wrong because I had them trading up for him.
Yeah, I get a point for Osiris Torrance to Buffalo because they take him later. And yeah, that's it. So let's see. Okay, so if you count who didn't go in the first round. So let's see. Let's see.
2, I think.
Okay, so that's -1 for Joey Porter Jr. Let's see who else we got. -1 for Hendon Hooker. -1 for Brian Branch.
Mayer.
-1 for Michael Mayer. So 31 -4. That's 27. So my official score clocks in at 37. All right. So let's see how Mike did. I feel like Mike could. I feel like it's gonna be like very close. So
it's gonna be similar.
Yeah. So let's see. So like I said, 2 points for Bryce Young.
2 points for CJ Stroud.
Clear everything. Damn it! No. Why am I doing this? Hold on. Here we go. Gotta pull the calculator back up. All right, here we go. So yeah, 2 points for Bryce Young, 2 points for CJ Stroud. Do not have Richardson to Tennessee. So let's see, move down. Let's see. What's your next correct pick? Holy shit.
Well, I got Gonzalez to the Patriots.
Oh, wait, where is he? Wait, where? Oh yeah, Gonzalez
to the Patriots. I had.
Okay, so +1. They traded down.
I had Hooker to Detroit.
You did Hooker to Detroit. So that's another point for you. All right, so let's see. Osiris. Osiris Torrance didn't go to Buffalo. So let's see. Quentin Johnson, no. Jordan Addison, no. Elijah Cansey, no. Jack. Okay, you got a point for Jack Campbell going in the first round.
Yep.
Actually, that comes later.
Yeah.
Let's see. Not Kincaid. Not Porter. Oh, you're so close with my. Wait, did they take Miles Murphy? They did take Miles Murphy.
I did take Miles Murphy. Yeah, I got that one.
That's 2 points. All right, and then Forbes. All right, so let's see. So those are all the picks you got correct.
Yep.
So
I got 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so let's kind of make players you didn't get right in the first round. So let's see.
I think it's 5.
Oh shit! I forgot to count Levis. So I'm at 36, not 37.
Okay.
It's 36. All right. So let's see. So you're -1. Let's see. 2.
Brian Branch.
Brian Branch 3.
Torrance is 4.
Torrance is 4. And then Michael Mayer.
Mayer's 5.
Mayer 5.
Porter 6.
Porter 6. Cody Mock 7. And Jalen Hyatt 8.
So I got 23 plus with the.
Yeah, so plus 23. So by virtue of player selections,
you got it. Yeah,
I did win. All right, so those are our final scores. I do wonder how it would with Jacob. We got to do with Jacob next year.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's it for the show today. Mike, you want to put your plug before we head up?
Yeah, actually, tomorrow night, Chance will be joining us again on What the Show podcast. Tomorrow night, we are going to be doing our box office predictions, and it actually ties into football. We're actually going to be doing our draft for our movies for our fantasy draft to determine the fantasy football draft order tomorrow night. So we're going to see who gets stuck with the machine.
Oh God. You're going to get to me out of spite for all this. All right. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Game of Chance, 191. Check out all the other shows we have on the Notorious by Chance Network, mainly the other one, Notorious by Chance Live. We might get that one done this week. Who knows? But we will have our episode on The Sting out very shortly or very soon. And yeah, we don't know when we'll have another one of these out. Probably in like 2-ish weeks, maybe later. We'll figure it out. We want to do something fun for the next episode after all this serious draft discussions. So that's going to do it for us here. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
Holy shit.